Hey, what's up, guys? So I got a little bit better setup here. I found this Insta360 GoPro style thing that I never used, but it's like the modular one, so you can put the 360 lens or like the GoPro style lens on it. This should be much better quality. I put this on like a little bendy GorillaPod thing. You can't really see it because it's underneath the camera. In my mission to keep dumping things out of my brain, I wanted to kind of talk about like energy today. And I feel like this idea of energy gets so conflated with like hippy dippy bullshit, which not all of it is bullshit, but I understand like it's, I don't know, the type of person who generally talks about this stuff. It's like, no, what you don't get is it's all energy, man. You gotta fucking like go with it, man, and feel the vibes. And like, I believe that, and I know it to be true, but like, it's also very much a real thing that it just, the presentation, like, I don't know, it's like sometimes you hear these things from people who are just like, humanity's on a collision course with the dark entities, and if you want to know how to stop them, you have to send me $3.99 for this 80 video course. You're just like, man, if this is an existential crisis and humanity's existence and our souls are on the line, and you have the answer, you know how to stop it, you wouldn't just give that away. Like, really, you're gonna try to profit off the thing that saves you? Like, go fuck yourself, dude. Fuck off. Even if I like harbor some theories about the things you're talking about, it's like, it always ends in money, man. Like, always. Like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this channel if anybody actually starts subscribing and watching, because it's like, I need money, but I fucking hate ads, man. I don't want to run ads on these videos, but then like YouTube's gonna run ads anyway. I don't know, man. I don't know. This money thing, that's a whole other thing. We'll have to talk about money at some point. It's okay as a concept, but it just fucking ruins everything cool. I'm going to be very careful as I'm going into like a sphere and a realm of like what I'm doing with throwing events and this thing and all. Like, I'm entering this little like realm of like money's going to be involved, and I have to make it. I have to be able to fund these things in order to operate outside of the society that I don't want to be part of in its current form, at least. I'm going to have to be able to fund like my ventures and the things I'm doing that allow me to not have to live that way. But yeah, back to the energy thing. I want to like, so that kind of like hippy dippy spiritual stuff that so often just gets written off as nonsense. I've really been thinking about it a lot after a couple like crazy experiences, and I just like, it's everything. And this line between spirituality and science that's been drawn, it feels intentionally, is really doing a fucking number on our perception. So here, I'm gonna like give an example, or like posit a situation. So like, if synchronicities are a great fucking perfect example, because damn near everybody I've ever talked to about it has experienced them. But they always just kind of get written off. And there always seems to be this effort to just be like, oh, well, we're pattern-seeking mammals and our minds draw connections. And it's like, sure, you know, there's times where I can tell I'm pattern-seeking rather than pattern recognizing. I want there to be something here, and they're just, you know, I want it because I want some certainty in life, and life is inherently uncertain, right? But then there's other times where you're like, what are the odds? And then it happens again, and then again, and then your life goes a certain direction, and then something big happens, and you go like, there's just a point where you go like, okay, maybe there's enough anecdotal experiential evidence here to go on to posit that perhaps there's something at play that we are unable to measure at this current moment. And the example I like to use, if you know me in person, I've probably said this to you a million times, is that before thermometers were invented, we could still feel the effects of temperature. You didn't need a thermometer to tell you that it was hot or cold outside. You'd go outside and you'd be like, wow, it's hot as fuck. Or, wow, it's cold as balls. It can be hot as balls too. I don't know why balls are like a temperature measurement metric, but so basically there's this understanding amongst everybody that we all feel this thing called temperature, right? And then one day somebody goes, hey, if we put mercury in a vacuum tube, it reacts in a predictable manner. And so we can sort of just set an arbitrary 0 point. Somebody just decided this is the first, mark on the scale. But, and then from there, like it predictably changes based on the temperature. It's like, boom, temperature. We now have temperature. And there's Kelvin, there's Fahrenheit, there's Celsius. You know what I mean? There's all these different ways that we chose to measure it. And so now it's this measurable phenomena, right? And now we know it's, the presence or lack of heat energy or the speed of the air molecules or whatever the fuck, right? So when somebody experiences something that starts to dip into the like spiritual realm, I'm recording it, yeah, okay. The spiritual realm, this knee-jerk reaction to just go, oh, well, there's no possible way that could be anything more than our standard set of sensory perceptions and current understanding of science allows us to explain. That is an unscientific way to look at it. The actual scientist would go, interesting. I recognize your experience. I'm going to combine that with my overall assessment of your character. Do you lie a lot? Do you exaggerate a lot? Or are you like a more or less, like functional, pretty level-headed, rational, grounded person? And if the latter, that's yet a little bit more evidence towards the fact that this is maybe something that we should look at, right? Let's figure it out. Now, the answer might be that you're just creating patterns in your mind and you want to believe this and it's not real. That might be one of the answers. Or it could be that we don't understand how time works. We don't understand space-time. We don't understand how things fold and warp around each other. They recognize the phenomena and they ask why. Why it may be that it's not real and why maybe that it is real, but they ask why. And what I see so much of today is there's no possible way that could happen. You're crazy. You're just making it up. It's just what you want to believe. I don't really understand how science and spirituality are these two separate realms, because really what science seems to be defined as now is the stuff we've been able to measure, and then spirituality seems to be defined as the stuff we are as of yet unable to measure. And but isn't that still just science? Isn't this the same shit? Aren't we both on a quest to discover how the universe works, how our reality is assembled? And so that brings me to the energy thing, where like, I was tripping out with my friend and like, maybe this is like stoner thought bullshit or whatever, but we were talking about like fossil fuels and gasoline and stuff. And like the source, like as we were taught in school and everything, like the source of all energy is the sun. Like we look at this thing every fucking day, this thing that's going down now. It's probably because the camera exposure is adjusting, but it's getting dark. There's a giant ball of fire that we don't know where it came from that provides all life, that 93 million miles away floating in infinite blackness. And we all just kind of walk around like that makes sense and that's totally normal. And of course that's how it would work. That doesn't make any sense at all. And like that provides all of the energy on Earth. All of it is heat and light energy from the sun, right? And scientists in the comments, feel free to like tell me I'm an idiot with any of this shit, but I think I'm more or less like just conceptually on point. You could even extrapolate that back to like the fossil fuels that we get put in our car. Like where does the energy in crude oil come from? It came from plants and animals that were compressed into this layer of the earth, given certain geological conditions at this one time. That's why it's not a renewable resource. Whatever geological conditions were at play at this one moment, all of this plant and animal material was compressed down, and by the extreme weight and pressure of the earth, it was just sort of like crushed into this hyper condensed and like energy goo, right? And now we suck it up out of the earth and we light it on fire, refine it, light it on fire, and it moves our cars around. But where did those fauna and flora get their energy? It's never created or destroyed, right? So if you track it back far enough, like we're running our cars on the sun. We're running our entire society on the sun, whether it's from solar panels or fossil fuels. It all came from the sun if you go back far enough. I don't know, I just never thought about it as far as like oil. Like that's what's happening. That's where it came from. That's insane. And then I looked up the definition of energy, and I remember it's like 6th grade science, but like it really hits home. Like, we don't fucking have any idea what this is. Energy is defined as the capacity to do work. And work is defined as, hold on, I just looked it up to make sure I had it right. Hold on, it says, in science, work is defined as the energy transferred to or from an object when a force is applied to it over a distance. So, we don't fucking know what energy is. Like, we have no idea, but it's everything. And I think we need to start thinking more in terms of, you know, like Tesla said, start thinking in vibrations and waves or whatever. We need to start thinking more in terms and much more seriously about energy. It's this unknowable thing that cannot be created nor destroyed, but yet somehow exists and is only transferred via other things. And like, no wonder ancient people looked at the sun and worshipped it as the god. It is our god. What, I don't know, this is getting, you know, you go into these realms, but it's like, what if the sun is sentient? What if that is God? And it's just the biggest mindfuck is that you look at it every fucking day and you don't even realize that like there is a God, and it's that. I'm not saying that necessarily, but like, I mean, why not? It's a ball of energy of just fuck, but even gods, if that's the case, even gods die. You know, as above, so below. Like, there's this whole cycle. Like, if the sun is our god, then even gods die, and eventually they fucking supernova and then implode into, like, they condense into, like, I think I was reading, like, it was they eventually become like a hunk of solid iron or something after everything, like, cools down. It's insane. So, I just think we need to start taking this idea of the energy that we're taking in, the energy that we're putting out, the energy that we're transferring around more seriously. And like, energy is not bound by time or space. It wouldn't appear like you can transfer energy over a Discord call. You and your friends can get hyped up and all of a sudden you were sleepy, but now you're having fun and you're laughing and you're awake. That's energy. You received energy. Isn't that interesting? That's why I worry so much about like when I go to these music festivals and the music scene that I'm part of and all that, like, there is a negative energy being spread right now through music. And I think we need to take it a lot more seriously than we do. I don't think drugs like ketamine are good for a music scene. I think they're reflective of the culture and the mental space that a lot of people inhabit. And I think that a lot of this like fucking angry dubstep shit that I hear everywhere, even though I like some heavy music, I like some fun dubstep. I'm a big fan of that 2010s electro house. Like, fucking yeah, bro, let's get it. Like, it's fun. Like, it's heavy, it's fun, but it's happy though. We're having fun. It's not just like, you're not just sitting there just like, I don't know, it's not some big catharsis party. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's good. I think it's spreading bad vibes, so to speak. And I think we need to be a lot more responsible with the vibes that we create. Because when you create a space for people, like a music festival or like an event at a venue, or just the way you set up a bar, you have the opportunity to do one of two things, right? You can either, or I guess neutral, you could just do nothing and it's just like bland and corporate. You could either create the vibes that you want to experience, or you can reflect the vibes that you're currently experiencing outside in the world. And I think both have merit. I think catharsis is a necessary thing. But, hey buddy, like a chipmunk or something. I think we've done enough of that. I think it's time to start building the world and the energy that we want to experience. And I not to be a gatekeeper, but like, that's why I'm playing like cool spacey house music and like things that are fun and upbeat and positive that give you hope. Like, you look at the music nowadays. Look how the art reflects how people are feeling. I mean, even the songs about fucking your life up with heroin and shit from the 90s and early 2000s, like they had this hopeful feel to them. it wasn't so dark. Everything is so dark now when it's appropriate as it's getting dark. I actually don't know if this is a looping trail, so I'm going to turn around this way a little more. There, you got some light on my face now. I think it's time to start being a lot more, you know, conscious of what we're doing to a scene, what we're doing to a space, and what we're doing to each other. Like, when I started really focusing internally on the energy that I'm taking in and the energy that I'm releasing, I can physically feel it. Like, sometimes I'm on fire and I'm like radiating, and I'm trying to control what I'm radiating out. And I can feel what other people are radiating. And like, now I kind of understand, like, this is why people meditate and stuff, right? Is to learn how to control these things. And I don't really meditate, but like, I mean, I do these walks and stuff, but I've become very aware of energy and like how it's moving around. And I'm like not astrology guy. I've always been science guy, but like, I've had some experiences that just make me go like, like I said, I'm, if something happens to me enough times, and I look and I as an otherwise sane person have these things happen, you go like, well, that's just data, man. Like, that is something that happened to me. So like, what was that? And it's like personal shit I don't want to get super into on YouTube, but like, I think a lot of people know what I mean. Other people have had these experiences. I think most people have. I think we're all capable of this. I think we're all a lot more in tune, or can be a lot more in tune than we think. We need to start accepting some of this stuff as real a little bit more. And I'm not saying that if you're like schizophrenic, you should go listening to every fucking made up pattern and thought and voice in your head. That's not like, I'm not saying mental disorders don't exist. I just mean like, if you're of sound mind and some weird shit lines up, don't just immediately dismiss it. Take it as data, you know? I'm not saying you gotta go buy crystals and start lighting incense. I mean, I like incense. Just don't immediately dismiss this stuff as completely impossible. And remember that we have no idea how any of this works. As I've been looking more into like quantum physics and the fourth dimensional stuff, like I mentioned in my last video, and this isn't like, oh, I'm so smart, but like a lot of the theories that I've just made up just based on like what I think might be the case is kind of what's been posited by like theoretical physicists, which is like, but that makes sense that if you're paying attention and you're in tune with it, that like, yeah, like that's what it feels like. And then you have other people who are working out the math and they're saying this is pretty probable. And it's like, I don't know. Interesting. I am like more or less convinced that there is a gigantic chunk of how our reality operates that we don't understand. And I think we get glimpses of it and we have pieces of it. And it's a lot more scientific than it is spiritual. We're like, these things will be understood someday. These things can be measured someday. And if you were able to see in 4 dimensions, you would go, oh yeah, obviously, duh. Because you could just see it, but we can't see it, you know? I just, you know, if you're out there and you've had some strange experiences, listen to them, listen to your gut. I think intuition's really important. Oh my God, you can't see me at all now. I think intuition's really important. I think your gut feelings are how you know what's right. I don't want to say that there's like a thing giving you guidance, but like, I think that perhaps this has all happened and not happened and is happening at the same time. And somehow reality can fold and blend in a way that can lead you down your world line in a more positive direction. It's pretty weird, man. I think life is pretty amazing, and I've been a lot happier and a lot more productive and a lot calmer when I started letting myself, I kind of hate the word believe, but letting myself believe that some of this stuff might be real. And, you know, I would like the rest of humanity to, you know, sort of like open their eyes to maybe a little bit of this stuff and, you know, consider like, why are there thousands of years of disconnected religions that talk about the exact same thing? You know, why does every, like future or like, I don't know, fortune system, you have tarot, you have the I Ching. Why do all of these operate on the same basic principle of providing reality with an element of randomness in which something can change. You know what I mean? They all operate on sort of the same idea that if you set up an environment where randomness can occur, perhaps, you know, timelines can shift, things can, Schrodinger's cat kind of situation, you know what I mean? There's just a lot of, there's a lot of things in history and in humanity that like, they mimic each other throughout time, where like disconnected cultures came to the same conclusions. They talk about the same things. I mean, it's just, I think you would be naive to just overlook that. And remember that it's only the last, like, you know, couple hundred, maybe 1,000 years with a lot of these organized religions that like made a very specific point of getting rid of all of these ideas. And why would they do that? You know what I mean? I don't have the answer, but like it does beg the question. And I don't know, man. Just it's all still there though, you know? Just listen. Listen to everything. Just like go out in the woods and stop and just be quiet. You know, if you go out in the woods and you just stop and listen, sit there for like half an hour, and be amazed how the forest comes alive around you. Pay attention to the energies you're giving off and the energies you're letting in. Don't watch fucking serial killer shows on Netflix every night before you go to bed and then ask yourself why you're unhappy every day and stressed and anxious. And also ask yourself, why are there so many serial killer shows on Netflix? Why is there this like concerted effort to get us to constantly think about death? You know? I just, I don't know, man. I think it's important. But it's also getting dark out here. And I think I'm off the trail and you can't see me anymore. So I'm going to try to get back to my car, but I hope any of this made some sense. And yeah, that's it. I guess next time I'll try to get out here earlier in the day. I can actually see okay, but the camera, I'll see, hopefully I can punch this up in post and it's not be so dark. All right, peace guys. Be easy, spread love, be mindful of your energy, wield it wisely. Bye.